Hi guys, welcome to the analysis for today. It's July 25th, Wednesday, so it's the middle of the week, and I think the markets are moving nice, kind of getting into that middle of the week swing with the most people probably involved in the markets. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So a lot of good movement. Today I'm not going to cover a ton of pairs. I'm mainly going to focus on the USD CAD and the Australian dollar, US dollar, because I'm involved in trades on both of those pairs, and I wanted to take a minute to show you what I'm looking at. So those will be the main pairs. I also have the USD yen up here now, which I'm going to show you, and also I want to show you the odd yen because that's also bouncing off some support. Before we get into that, let's take a quick look at our news. If I can grab it, there we go. Tomorrow, the main thing we're probably looking at is the euro dollar because there's some major red tag euro news and also a ton of US dollar red tag news. So I'm not even going to look at the euro dollar today, but tomorrow we'll take a good look at it and see how the news played out in that pair. Just know that there's a lot of red tag, including unemployment claims, obviously, because it's a Thursday. So definitely a lot of movement, possibly for the euro dollar tomorrow. Keep your eye on that. All right. The next thing we do is look at our terms. And obviously we try to make it a point to understand that this is for educational purposes only. And if you need to pause this and read it, take your time to do that. And then we'll jump into our analysis. Now again, I have the US dollar yen up right now. The US yen is a pair that I was annoyed with for quite some time because it was kind of in a channel here and not really moving with a lot of definite direction. But now we've kind of broken down out of this channel and moved into a pretty nice little downtrend here with the yen gaining some serious strength. So we can see that since the top of this tail here, we had a nice breakdown and the trend has continued quite nicely. Now the way I'm looking at it, this is on an 8-hour chart. I have kind of a nice little channel drawn here, and it seems to be respecting that to some degree. Now obviously you can kind of draw channels however you want to make them fit your point of view, but what I'm seeing here is a little bit of a tightening up of the channel, and it looks like if it continues, eventually, assuming that these lines continue, we will meet where where the channel will tighten so much that it can't really stay in the channel any longer. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And what I'm thinking is that if it does continue to tighten up and get smaller as we go down, we might get a really severe breakout of the tightening channel to the downside because we're kind of in a descending angle already. So that would be a great short opportunity, and that's something that I'm looking at for the future. Now, right now, I'm not trading the US yen, not because I don't think that the trend is a good opportunity, just because I think there's some better trades out there than the USD yen right now. Okay, I'm actually going to stay on the 8-hour chart because that's where I made my trades today, and I kind of want to show you what I was thinking there. The first one is the USD CAD, which is a pretty recent trade, and I took it off of the break of this channel here. So I don't know if you remember my analysis yesterday, but I was showing you that the daily chart was headed towards the top of this channel in the USD CAD, and I mentioned that because we're already in a downtrend, as you can see here, that shorts off this trend line might be a really good possibility. So as you can see, I did go ahead and follow my own advice, and there was a bounce here, which was tempting, but I wanted to see a little bit of follow through, so I waited one more candle, and I took it basically at the close of this candle here. And so you can see that this chart, I'm up about 28 pips on this one, targeting towards the recent low here, and I think this is a pretty good trade. It's maybe a little bit late for you to jump in now, but if you're expecting the downtrend to continue, obviously, it's still really not late because you could get in at the end of today's daily bar and target the bottom of this trend line and then even maybe hold it as it continues to go down the trend line. So I think that's a pretty good trade opportunity on the USD CAD. I think that the CAD is going to continue to gain its strength, assuming that there's no major news that hurts it, because I just think it's in better shape than the US dollar as of now. And again, of course, we have a lot of US dollar news tomorrow, so that could change things up on us a bit as well. The other trade I'm in is the odd dollar, and you know that I've been preaching odd strength lately. I think that the Australian strength is probably the most consistent thing across the board right now, and I just think that this uptrend we have forming here on the 8-hour chart is a great trade opportunity. Now, I would have liked to have taken this tail off the trend line. Unfortunately, I missed that trade, which would have been, let me see, that would have put me up an extra 65 pips or so. So I really wish I would have taken that, but I was in bed, kind of missed that trade opportunity. So when I came to the office this morning, I took a trade pretty early on in the morning, around 8 a.m. I believe, and it retraced on me a bit, but I'm up about 25 pips on this one as well. So I'm targeting the recent high on this one, just like I was targeting the recent low on the USD CAD. And so you can see what I'm doing here is I'm shorting the US dollar in both situations. One is a short on the USD CAD, one is a long on the Australian USD, but both of them are technically US dollar shorts. And what I'm doing is I'm doubling up my USD shorts and putting it against what I believe are the two strongest pairs, the Australian dollar and the Canadian dollar. And so I've kind of tried to leverage myself in a good position using the strongest pairs to my advantage and thinking that I have a very high probability of hitting one or both of these trades because I believe the AUD and the CAD are both stronger contenders than the US dollar at this time. And so that's kind of the way I'm setting up this trade. I think that I have a pretty high probability of hitting both, but I think I have an extremely high probability of hitting one or the other. And I'll, of course, let you know how those turn out. But I just wanted to show you kind of how I did that. And I thought it might be something of educational value to you, just to show you how I transitioned into my trades. Okay, the last thing I want to show you was the AUD yen, and I think that the AUD yen is on a great support level here. I didn't take it because I didn't want to triple my risk already being long on the AUD and short on the dollar in two areas, so I didn't want to put another AUD into the mix. But I think this is a great bounce, and I think that this area up here, the 82.28 area, which is what I have drawn here, is a pretty reasonable target for this. And the AUD yen moves pretty decent, so even from the top of this candle, that's about 175 pips. So that's a lot of pips there to be found, and I think that that's probably a pretty reasonable trade as well, especially because this resistance area support area that it's bouncing off of was a really good resistance area until it broke and then has been tested. So many times the areas that were former major resistance and now major support are the best levels to trade off of, and I think that's what we're seeing here. So another opportunity. It retraced somewhat, looks to be trying to continue. You can see that there's a small base here that it's trying to fight through. To me, doesn't seem like it should be a major area. But if that follows through and breaks that level, I think that the AUD yen is also a great long opportunity. Alright, so those are a couple things that I'm looking at in today's market. Again, those are all 8-hour charts, and I think that the 8-hour charts are really good charts to look at because it gives you a smaller time frame than the daily, but it gives you a little less noise than, say, the 4-hour. So for me, the 8-hour are really nice charts. And even though I use the dailies as my overall indicator, a lot of times the 8 hours are what I actually make the entry based on. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. If you have any questions or comments or thoughts, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll get back to you right away. And hopefully you enjoy your trading. Make sure you're watching out for that Euro news and the US dollar news tomorrow. And we'll check in with that pair in tomorrow's analysis just to see what's happening there. Alright guys, talk to you soon. Have a great day and enjoy your trading.